Right then, this is Thamesmead Streets in the Sky Part 3. So then, this carries on from Part 1 and Part 2, which I did back in 2015. And if you haven't seen these videos, I recommend you watch them first, as it gives you sort of a feel of what this estate is like. Because this estate is this completely amazing. When you think of big, grotty, brutalist estates, this takes it even further. This is an epic, brutalist, high-level walkways going everywhere. They're actually trying to create like a city with high-level walkways. It's really complex and totally epic. This estate is the best brutalist 60s estate I've ever seen. It is so awesome and so ever so grotty. So if you haven't seen parts 1 and part 2, I recommend you watch these first because it gives like an overview of what the estate's like. So then, on to part 3, and I've come back here with Top Level and Aaron, and let's take another look around this awesome architecture. Now just look at this place is so awesome. And now, along we go to the first lift. This is in the main part of Streets in the Sky, motor room. Let's do it. So up into the motor room we go. And, well, modern Thames Valley controls. Rather shit, pretty much the same sort of thing as Leicester controls. And it's actually got a card in it. The engineer slots in to have access to the controls. They've just left it in. They're not meant to just leave the card in all the time, but, well, good for us because we can actually mess about with the controls.
Oh, what is this? Oh my god. I've never seen that before. Nobody would actually...
So then, let's now make this lift move. And now, back down to the lift we go, and let's open it up. And no, they've got a surf guard on it.
Do not ride on car top.
Surf guard! Oh, it's surf guard. Somewhere else has surf guard. That means we go in the motor room, it's an alarm as well.
To be honest, I don't really blame a place like this having surf guard.
So then, surf guard's this weird device on top of lifts, and it's meant to sound an alarm if someone goes on top of it who is not authorised. Now you might think, oh well, just understand why I'd put a surf guard on. But the thing that is really dangerous about a surf guard is not that it just like sounds alarm and that, but the fact it actually stops the lift when it detects you, and it doesn't detect you straight away. I mean, you can get on top of the lift, start the lift moving, go out of reach of the door roller, then it suddenly detects you and stops the lift, and you're trapped. So I do not like surf guard for that reason. I actually think surf guards are illegal. They go against regulations, and they can cause entrapment, and they're actually more of a danger to people on top of lifts than if they didn't have it. Back up to a motor room we go. Let's take a look at where surf guard is in the motor room, and here it is. And from here, since we actually got the motor room, we can actually switch it off. But the thing is, we think it's actually been left off. Maybe I realised it wasn't very safe, so I decided to leave it off, or maybe a lift engineer couldn't be asked to turn it back on. It is so weird. Anyway, we weren't able to get a surf guard to set off, so along we go to a tower block in Thamesmead. And the lifts in here are Piccadilly line lifts. They have a Piccadilly line voice.
This lift is going up. Floor 11. Doors opening. This lift is going down. Doors closing.
Now let's open up these lifts and let's have a ride on top of them. And something I've never heard before is the Piccadilly line voice saying lift out of service. Just listen to this.
This lift is out of service. This lift is out of service.
So then, shall we set the surf guard off? Let's try it. So we're waving our hands in front of it. We test loads of stuff. We thought maybe it only goes off when it's on inspection. We tried that. We really did try to get its thing to go off. Come on, surf guard. Sound the alarm. I am tampering with you. Come on, surf guard. Sound the alarm. And it didn't sound the alarm. That's disappointing. Oh, I wanted to hear the alarm go off. Oh, well. And now go along to another tower block and some more lifts, and these ones don't have surf guard. So let's take a cheeky ride on top of them.
I thought it was going to be really slow.
And now along we go back to Streets in the Sky and along to the next section of it, and this bit is actually the segregated section. It has these big fences to segregate it off to the main part. It's like the residents here are like, we don't want ordinary people walking through our bit of the estate, but hey, we still managed to get into this bit. And along we go to the lift, and this one's got one of the funniest lift voice messages, because this particular lift voice is quite dull sounding, it's not very interesting, but when he puts it onto inspection, it goes, lift out of service, maintenance control. This sounds so happy. It's so weird from such a boring lift voice to suddenly sound so excited.
I think it's that.
He's like, oh dear, I've been in service all day and it's boring, but finally someone's come to mess with the lift. Yes. So then let's open up this lift and another surf guard. Oh dear. So then, can we set this surf guard off? Hello, surf guard. I am tampering with the lift. Are you going to sound the alarm? Come on, surf guard, sound the alarm. Surf guard, can you hear me? Come on, surf guard, sound the alarm. I don't think it's going to. But as top level has found out, even if surf guard doesn't sound the alarm, often they still actually just suddenly stop the lift when you're away from the door rollers. But hey, since I got top level and Aaron with me, so if a lift did detect I'm on top of it and suddenly stopped in between floors and refused to move again, as long as I'm not at the top of the shaft, they can let me out. So I can still surf the lift with the surf guard on it. Wow, surf guard, you so totally stopped me from surfing on this lift, didn't you? So then, let's surf the lift with surf guard on. Lift out of service, maintenance control.
Lift out of service, maintenance control.
Now let's go full speed.
Yeah, that's a surf guard sounder there, and that's the alarm.
So then after this, let's carry on looking around this really awesome grotty Thamesmead estate, and let's go along to a bit where they're actually pulling down the estate. Now this bit actually has an old express lift, modernised in the 80s or 90s, and this is one of the more interesting lifts because it's a bit older since all the other ones have been horribly modernised. So along we go past the knockdown bit, which is very sad and depressing looking, and along we go into a bit of Streets in the Sky about to be knocked down, and this part is actually really creepy because it's actually night time now, and wow, does that just look spooky, especially since most of the residents have been moved out. This entire part of this estate only has 1 or 2 flats still occupied, I think. It is so creepy. It's pretty much almost abandoned now. So creepy. And along we go to the lift, and it's gone. Oh, I've taken the lift away. Oh, this bit's literally about to be knocked down just in a few weeks from now, and very disappointing. The lift's gone. So, shall we check out the motor room? Well, after an amazing lot of luck with motor rooms all day, our luck eventually ran out. Some security guards suddenly noticed us climbing up to the motor room, and they started really angry. But quickly after that, it turns out they weren't actually angry, and actually quite pleased that we were interested in the estate and were actually talking to us about it, which was quite nice. So few out of the lift, they weren't actually angry, but still really disappointing as part of the estate's going to be pulled down.